All right, Nimrod, thanks so much for that. Now, all primary and secondary schools in Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu counties will reopen tomorrow. In a joint statement, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki and his education counterpart, Ezekiel Mashogu, said adequate measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of learners and the schools. Now, learners in the schools in 3 counties missed classes Wednesday after learning was suspended as a safety and security measure in the wake of the dangers faced by school-going children in last week's protests. We get more from our very own Brenda Wanga.
On any other school day, Lawrence Musheru would have dropped his Class 8 student at this school for learning. Today, he came alone. His child, like thousands of others in Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu counties, stayed away from their classrooms and schools on instruction from the Ministries of Security and Education. The directive, coming just hours before the commencement of the 3 days demonstrations, informed by the risks facing schools, teachers and students during the anti-government protests.
Ile tuliona last hatukufurahia cause serikali ilisema watoto wakuje shule last at security iko sawa. Alafu tulikuja kuona mambo iligeuka na watoto wetu wakaanza kuadhirika. So far hatukufurahia. That is why tulinotify wazazi mtoto wake, kila mtoto asijaribu kukanyanga kwa shule. That is why tuliprefer watoto wakae nyumbani.
While this skipped day of learning was welcomed in the 3 counties deemed most at risk of witnessing demonstration, there is a fear of the lasting impact of the missed classes on the education of the young children.
Last year mliona vile kulikuwa na corona, hao watoto wa class 8 hawakusoma vizuri. And then saa hii tena kukuje tena hii serikali tena mambo ya maandamano. So atufurahi kosa watoto wetu wataruhusu. Na hii ndio 8 ya mwisho na hatujui watafanya aje.
Time lost can never be recovered. Even if you'll be talking about let's fast track the curriculum to ensure that we catch up with the lost ground, that would still not be sufficient. That which has been lost, even if you aggregate them and condense them, you are just overstressing the students.
In Kisii County, schools located in the town center were not open for business as usual. Empty classrooms where learners would have been taking their lessons. In some classes, those who showed up turned the classrooms into temporary playing grounds. In Migori, classes remained empty with only a handful of teachers showing up to school for brief periods of time. The same situation was replicated in Mombasa and Kisumu, the other counties allowed to skip school today. Asa Johnson Primary School in Migori was one such school. A near miss attack last week had this school taking precautions.
Polisi wanapiga tear gas karibu na shule, kwa mlango ya shule hapo. Juice, tear gas ilipita juice. Sasa walimu walisema wasikuje shule leo, wapumzike mpaka maandamano iishe.
While lauding the government for taking safety measures for the children's sake, education stakeholders asked the same government to listen to the agitations of the protesters and address the reasons behind the demonstrations. Brenda